Good day and welcome to today's class. Today's class is a continuation of our previous class on applications of SURDS. And one of the applications we said it is in solving triangles. And at the last class, we looked at the trigonometrical ratios of special angles, where we said trigonometrical ratios gives the relationship between any two sides of a right angle triangle with an included angle. At that class, we were able to note that sine theta is given as the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse side of angle theta, while cos theta is said to be the ratio of the adjacent side to the hypotenuse side, and we got tan theta to be equal to the opposite side to the adjacent side. On special angles, we were able to prove that sine 30 degrees is said to be 1/2 or 0.5, and we got cos 30 degrees to be √3/2 and tan 30 degrees to be 1/√3, which we then rationalize to become √3/3. We also got sine 60 degrees to be √3/2, while cos 60 degrees gave us 1/2 or 0.5, and tan 60 degrees to be √3. We also compared it with what we got for the special angles of 30 degrees, and we discovered that sine 60 degrees is equal to cos 30 degrees, while sine 30 degrees is equal to cos 60 degrees. And we were able to discover that tan 30 degrees is said to be the reciprocal of tan 60 degrees. We also went ahead to find the trig ratios of angle 45 degrees, where we got sine 45 degrees to be 1/√2, which was rationalized to be √2/2, and cos 45 degrees we got to be √2/2, while tan 45 degrees we said is equal to 1. We equally noted that tan theta can be said to be the ratio of sine theta to cos theta degrees. In today's class, we shall be taking more exercises on applications of SURDS. So we have a question here, which I'm going to solve for you today, that we should calculate the height of a tree whose shadow is 20 meters shorter when the angle of elevation of the sun is 60 degrees than when the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. The first step in solving a problem is to understand the problem. Once you are able to visualize this problem and see how you can represent it using a right angle triangle, then you are halfway gone in solving that problem. Now we are going to interpret this question and apply what we have learned in SURDS to see how we can solve this. Now we are asked to calculate the height of a tree whose shadow is 20 meters shorter when the angle of elevation of the sun is 60 degrees than when the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. Now you need to understand what we meant by angle of elevation. Now the angle of elevation is the angle that falls between your eye and the horizontal plane when you are looking upwards, while the angle of depression can be said to be the angle that is formed between the horizontal of your eye and when you are looking downwards. So I will say let the height of the tree be this. So let me sketch it. Solution. If this is said to be the tree, that we should find the height of the tree. Let the height of the tree be said to be h when the angle of elevation is said to be 60 degrees, that its shadow is 20 degrees less than when it is 30 degrees. So if it is 30 degrees, let the height of the shadow be x, while if it is 60 degrees, that it is 20 less than x, and this can be said to be x minus 20. So this is the height of the shadow. If the tree stands this way, and let's assume the sun is this way, that the shadow is being casted this way on the horizontal, and we are told that when it is 60 degrees, the height of the shadow is 20 less than when it is 30 degrees. So I've been able to interpret it this way. I'm going to apply what I will have learned in SURDS, in the application of SURDS, in solving this problem. I'm going to find the relationship between the height of the tree. Let me call this triangle ABC. I have represented this using a triangle. This is a right angle triangle. Let me call this side D. So when you consider triangle ABD, you will agree with me that H, which is the opposite, that the opposite over the adjacent sides gives us tan theta. So if the opposite is said to be H, I'll call this H divided by, while the adjacent side is said to be x minus 20, this will be equal to tan 60 degrees. Let me call this equation A. I'm going to do same considering angle 30 degrees and call that equation B. That is to say the opposite side is H while the adjacent side is X. That's to say that H over X is equal to tan 30 degrees. Call this equation B. Now, the question says we should find the height H. So I say let H be the height of the tree. What I'm going to do next is to make X the subject of the formula in both equation A and B so that I can eliminate them. So from equation A, we have, when you cross multiply, this gives you H is equal to tan 60 degrees into x minus 20. I want to make x the subject of the formula. When you divide both sides by tan 60 degrees, this gives us H divided by tan 60 degrees is equal to x minus 20. Adding 20 to both sides, this becomes H divided by tan 60 degrees plus 20 is equals to x. That is to say, x is equal to H divided by tan 60 degrees plus 20. Call this equation 1. I'll also use equation B and make x the subject of the formula. So when you do that, this is going to give us from equation B is defined as H over x is equal to tan 30 degrees. So making x the subject of the formula, you cross multiply and divide. This becomes H is equals to x times 30 degrees. Dividing both sides by tan 30 degrees, this gives us H divided by tan 30 degrees is equal to x. That is to say that x is equal to H divided by tan 30 degrees. I will call this equation 2. Now, let me bring down equation 1. Equation 1 is x is equal to H divided by tan 60 degrees plus 20. This is equation 1. Now, I have equation 1 to be x is equal to h divided by tan 60 degrees plus 20, as well as equation 2 to be equal to h divided by tan 30 degrees. Since equation 1 and equation 2 are said to be x, it therefore means that equation 1 is equal to equation 2 because they are both in terms of x. So I will say since equation 1 is equal to equation 2, I can then equate both of them together and solve for h. That is to say that h divided by tan 30 degrees is equal to h divided by tan 60 degrees plus 20. I will then substitute the values for tan 30 degrees and tan 60 degrees as we have seen. This becomes h divided by tan 30 degrees, as we proved at the last class, is said to be, tan 30 degrees is said to be root 3 over 2, while tan 60 degrees is said to be root 3. So when you bring them to this point, this becomes root 3 over 3 is equal to h divided by tan 60, we said is root 3 plus 20. So simplify this further and make h the subject of the formula. This can be simplified to be 3h over root 3 is equal to h divided by root 3 plus 20. Some of you may be asking me, how did I get this? If you have h divided by root 3 over 3, this can be simplified to be h times 3 over root 3, which is equal to 3h divided by root 3. So that's how I got this. Simplifying this further, I'm going to multiply every term in this equation by root 3. So when you multiply this by root 3, it's going to cancel out the denominator, leaving us with 3h is equal to, when you multiply this by root 3, it will also cancel the denominator. You will have h plus also multiply 20 by root 3. This gives us 20 root 3. So we are almost there. Collect like terms by subtracting h from both sides. This gives us 3h minus h is equal to, when you subtract h from the right hand side, this will go, leaving us with 20 root 3. And when you simplify, 3h minus h gives us 2h is equal to 20 root 3. Dividing both sides by 2, our h now is said to be 10 root 3 units. Okay, this should be centimeters. Did they give us the units? Okay, meters. So therefore means that the height of the tree is said to be 10 root 3 meters. So let's substitute it to be h is equal to 10 root 3 meters. Now, for you to know if you are right or wrong, you can then solve for x and see if BD will be 20 meters less than BC. And let's see if the height is 10 root 3 meters, what will be x? Remember, we have already said from our equation 1a and b that h over x minus 20 is equal to tan 60 degrees. We can then substitute for h by saying 10 root 3 divided by x minus 20 is equal to tan 60, and tan 60 we said is root 3. So this becomes 10 root 3 is equal to root 3 into x minus 20. This is 10 root 3 is equals to x root 3 minus 20 root 3. I want to look for x, so this becomes 10 root 3 plus 20 root 3 is equal to x root 3. And when you simplify this, 10 root 3 plus 20 root 3 gives us 30 root 3 is equals to x root 3. So we then divide both sides by root 3. When you divide here by root 3 and divide this side by root 3, you have the value of x to be equal to 30. So if the value of x is 30, this is equal to 30, and 30 minus 20 is said to be 10. Therefore means that this angle is 10. So if you look at the trig ratio, we have it that tan 30 is said to be h over x. If tan 30 is said to be h over x, and the h is given as 10 root 3 divided by x is what? X is 30. So when you divide, tan 30 is equal to root 3 over 3, which is true, while tan 60 is given as h divided by x minus 20. So h is given to be 10 root 3, while x minus 20 is said to be 10. So 10 divided by 10 will cancel out, and tan 60 is said to be root 3, which is true. That shows you that our value for h is correct. So if I'm to do this on a new sheet, this is going to be of the form this is 60 degrees, 30 degrees, and our h is 10 root 3, while this is said to be 10. This can be said to be 20, so that the total length in this case is said to be 30. So the height of the tree is said to be 10 root 3. So the question once again says, calculate the height of a tree whose shadow is 20 meters shorter when the angle of elevation of the sun is 60 degrees than when the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. So that is our answer. That brings us to the end of this class. In the next class, we shall take more exercises on SURDS. Kindly like this video as you watch. We also recommend that you subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do that, while we also encourage you to turn on the notification bell so as to be notified whenever a new video is being uploaded. You can use the comment section to interact with us on issues that are still difficult for you to understand. Thank you, and do have a nice day.